Dear scholar, how are you today? My name is Bisola Obinya, and thank you so much for joining my session today on my YouTube channel. And this is the official YouTube channel of the Study and Impact Africa Consulting. The Study and Impact Africa Consulting, otherwise known as SAC, is a social enterprise strategically positioned to connect African students with fully funded scholarships, and our brand or our brand statement is we desire to work with as many African students looking for fully funded scholarships so that they can access a guaranteed scholarship in 6 months. So today, I want to share with you, this is the first Q&A session. Let me just go straight. And then I have been holding a free session on WhatsApp. Okay, it's 3 days to my birthday, and then I decided to do a free consulting session on WhatsApp. It's a 72-hour consulting session, and today we we dived into practical, real questions that people always ask when it comes to applying to universities abroad. So today, I want to share with you some of the questions that we touched in the conversation during the session today. I'll be reading out each question, and then I would answer accordingly. I hope that this helps you, or this proves very useful as your guide, even as you begin to make your plans to register for the scholarship guaranteed course. So I'm going to start straight away. The very first question that was asked today is, how and when should I apply? How and when should an international student apply? As an international student, you must understand that there are two very strategic timelines or strategic semesters that you can apply in. That is the fall term and the spring term. The fall term is usually the fall term application usually are received in November into December, towards or in preparation for admission in August or September of the following year. Okay, so if there is any strategic period you should apply, it is November, especially for Canadian schools and American schools, or schools in North America generally, and in fact schools in other countries, UK and some other countries. So let's move on. Does Canadian scholarship requires returning home? If you apply or you get a Canadian scholarship today, it depends on the kind of opportunity you get. If it is a government specific opportunity, you're expected to return home immediately. Now, even if it is a school specific opportunity, the rule is you are expected to return home because you have been given an admission to study, not to work or to live. Okay, so post your program or after your program, you can apply for jobs, and that's one thing that Canada offers. It offers very generous postgraduate work experience opportunities, or work opportunities, I mean. So you can as well you can get lucky, or not just get lucky, you can be strategically positioned to assess the post study opportunities available in Canada. But in the USA, the chances that you will be able to stay for long after your program, the chances are quite slim, except except your program is a master's and then it transitions you into a PhD, and then that means you're going to be spending more time, and then post your PhD you get a job, and then you can stay for longer than you planned. Can I get loans? Somebody asked in today's class, can I get loans? Loans, student loans. He was referring to student loans. Now, what I always advocate for is apply for guaranteed scholarships, apply for fully funded opportunities. When you apply and get fully funded opportunities, you don't need loans. Student loans are not usually very much available to international students who don't have, a credit record or credit worthiness, you know, as far as these countries are concerned. But if you are a Canadian citizen or an American citizen or a citizen of that country, you have better chances of getting into a program with a student loan. So if you're an international student, my great my advice is, don't look out for opportunities that would ask you, that would involve you paying loans or that would give you student loans. Look out for opportunities that are fully funded. So the next question is a 2-2 or third class grade good for admission? Now, to answer that question, I will tell you that schools look at a number of factors before they admit, one of which is your transcript or your past academic records. So, as much as your past academic records is very important, schools are looking at other factors such as your transcript, resume, and the rest. So, if you have an undergraduate or a previous graduate certificate or record that is not so competitive, you need to prove to the school that you are good for their program. How do you do this? There are a number of ways to prove that you're good. For example, while you're reaching out to schools through with your letter of introduction, you must state the gaps or the limitations in your academic record so that you can find out whether you can so that you learn on time whether you should go ahead and apply or not. The next thing I like to say is you need to also find out from the school. Now, the next thing I'll say is this: you need to get tested. Like on the scholarship guaranteed course, I always encourage people to get tested. There is a particular aspect in the scholarship guaranteed course that says if you're rusty, get tested. If you're rusty would mean that maybe your past grade isn't so competitive. If you're rusty can also mean that you are not a recent graduate. So even if you made a first class 10, 20 years ago, you need to get tested by writing standardized tests and meeting other requirements of the school or program. The next question says, how do I get email addresses? If I say, how do I get email addresses of advisors? I always share proven strategies with scholars on the scholarship guaranteed course. If you enroll for the scholarship guaranteed course, you will learn the several strategies involved in getting the attention of advisors. Now, one of such strategy is you need to look out for you need to find out what your academic interest is and what the academic interest of the advisors you're looking out for is. As soon as you identify what your academic interest is, you can look out for papers within that area. When you find papers in that area, you would be able to get further information about advisors or academic advisors who have written those papers. And if you find their information, you will find their email addresses. But I can assure you that when you enroll for the scholarship guaranteed course, you get to learn more. So the next question is, do I need to write high ELTS? I always get this question over and over and over again. If you go to our website under the FAQ section, you will see my answers there. But let me answer this very quickly here. You can you need to find out the IELTS that is accepted in the country you're planning to study in. In UK, it is UKVI for admissions. In Canada, it is academic IELTS. In USA, it is academic IELTS for schooling or for academic purpose. While the general IELTS is accepted if you're planning to migrate to countries like Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and many other countries. I hope that helps. So, the next question says, what steps do I need to take to get funded? What steps do I need to take to get funded? There are a lot of steps you need to take, but if you enroll for the scholarship guaranteed course, we have broken the steps you need to take into 6 major steps. And every month you are going to take these steps or these all the strategic steps so that in 6 months you get fully funded. So the next thing we'll be looking at is the next question says, what letters do I need to process? Do I need to process admission? If you're referring to letters, there are a number of letters. There is the recommendation letter, your statement of purpose is a kind of letter or essay, your 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 letter of introduction. So you need as many all of these letters put together to process your admission and to transit from just being a scholar who desires to study abroad to a scholar who is actually studying abroad. All right, so the next question says, How do I connect with admin, or maybe this person is trying to say, how do I connect with advisors? The strategies that we have put together in the scholarship guaranteed course helps you learn how to connect with potential advisors. The easiest way you can connect with advisors is to write them letters of introduction. If you register for the scholarship guaranteed course, we would give you templates to work with. We will show you how to even introduce yourself. We'll show you how you can sustain the attention that you're getting from potential advisors, and how that attention that you're getting can translate into getting valuable information about the program, about the funding that that program offers, and about your candidacy, or how competitive how your chance I mean what your chances are even while you're planning to apply for that program. So the next question says, how do I measure my grades? How do I evaluate my grades? So to evaluate your grades, there are a number of search engines you can make use of. If you enroll for the scholarship guaranteed course, we give you a number of links that you can work with in order to evaluate your grade. Okay, so to the next question, what are the financial preparation? I'll take that question last. Let me move on to another question. How can I get scholarships that don't need benchmarks, or that would cover funding, or that would make funding available irrespective of research interest? Now, you need to understand that school specific opportunities are different from government specific opportunities. School specific opportunities are opportunities that you apply for through a school, a program, or a department. So, if you're applying to a school, as long as the school has funding or always offers funding, and you can identify advisors working within the research area that you're interested in, you have you don't need to worry about getting funded for that research area, because the school already has funding. It's just for you to apply, or to be competitive enough to be accepted into that program, and then get to work under an advisor whose research area is similar or closely related to yours. So how can my write-ups be very competitive? Someone is asking, how can his or her write-up be competitive for applications? Your write-ups can be very competitive if you write every day. The strategy to writing catchy and compelling application letters or essays is write every day. Develop the habit of writing on a daily basis. If you write every day, it is not going to be difficult for you to write um, a very catchy essay even when you're ready. But don't worry, we have templates you can work with. There is a workbook, a practical guide that would help you, build your essays and make your essays as